So Roger Waters
Oh, God.
went on the Joe Rogan Experience. And we want to dedicate the last part of this show to break down Roger's pearls of wisdom. Are you ready?
What an idiot.
Let's listen to a little bit of it.
In the afternoon, and then boom, at 8:30 they're on stage singing, and they get very excited, and obviously, but it's a wonderful thing, for them, but also for me, and also for the band. Have these children come and perform with us on stage.
Oh, that's so nice.
And the mayor of North Miami Beach, or wherever it was, came under some pressure from the local community.
Oh.
And they weren't allowed to play. So I got some other kids, but
What was the objection?
that I'm an anti-Semite. Obviously, I'm not an anti-Semite.
Clearly.
Of course.
I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm not.
My best
I'm not.
friends
I have
are
4
Jewish.
Jews locked in my basement. I'm not an anti-Semite.
Get that clear
Yeah.
straight away, if you don't mind, because I'm obviously not. You can study my record going back as far as you want. So that's always the objection, because I support BDS, and because I have for the last 16 years or so.
BDS?
You know what BDS is: boycott, divestment, and sanctions.
Okay.
It's amazing.
You know what BDS is.
Are you going to impersonate him every
The whole
post?
time, yeah.
It's amazing. First, that Joe Rogan doesn't know what BDS is. I guess it's not that well known as
Yeah.
Roger would like to think.
Yeah.
And now comes the good part.
It's a movement that was started in 2005 in Palestinian civil society, and it stands for
Wait,
boycott.
what is Palestinian civil society?
It's against the Palestinian uncivil society.
No, but what is Palestinian civil society?
I don't know.
Okay.
Divestment and sanctions. And so it's a movement to try and shine a light on the predicament of the Palestinian people, particularly in the occupied territories, but also, I guess, in Israel itself.
Okay, what? Like those according to Roger, the BDS is a struggle against the predicament of not only Palestinians in the occupied territories, but also the Palestinians in Israel, who enjoy
Yeah.
full equal rights.
Which I wasn't aware they were called Palestinians.
Yeah. And
What is Palestinians? It's all of a sudden becoming such a gray, amorphic definition.
Yeah.
Are they Palestinians or are they Israeli Arabs, which they are? They're full Israeli citizens.
Oh man. Let's see what he says.
Using boycott and divestment from companies that like Caterpillar or Hewlett Packard, people like that, who deal in the illegal settlements in the occupied territory. And sanctions, well, there's not many people out there who are powerful enough to impose sanctions. And
This is the most
of
boring
those
Roger Waters has
with
ever
that
been.
much power are allies of the Israeli government, and so wouldn't do so. But anyway, that's what it is by and large. And since then, we have made great strides in that movement, and it's a much bigger movement than it was. And in consequence, the sort of battle lines have been drawn, but it's got more intense, and it's slightly less gentlemanly sport than it was 16 years ago.
What?
It's slightly less gentle. It was so much more gentlemanly
Oh, we're
when
the
the
good old days.
Palestinians were blowing buses up. It was so much more, right?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
where
yeah.
you could just
He goes on and on for like 10 more minutes. And
wait. No, but you got to play more
Okay,
because we
okay.
don't get to the part where he's the most
I didn't see
ignorant.
So 16 years ago, you were allowed to have different opinions about conflicts.
Well, no, but nobody knew about the conflict.
Nobody
It was largely
knew.
unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is that's actually somewhat accurate. Like probably less people knew about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict
Right,
than they
right.
do today. But okay.
It was a problem at all in the Holy Land. Certainly by most of the public in this country, and where I'm from in the UK as well, and in me. I mean, I had accepted back in 2005 or 6, one of those years, to do a gig in Tel Aviv. I was asked in the middle of a European tour, "Hey Raj, they want you to go and do a gig in Tel Aviv. Is that?" And I went, "Yeah, all right." I didn't think twice about it. So that's where I was then. So I'm not blaming people for not having known about the Zionist project since 1948 and everything that had happened. Although I was vaguely aware of the Yom Kippur War, the 67 War, and the 75 War, and so on and so forth.
73.
I knew a little bit.
73.
73 is the Yom Kippur War. What is
Yeah.
the 75 War?
Yeah, he invented upper rope.
But he was vaguely then. Now he's crystal
very
clear. Now
informed,
he's
yeah.
crystal clear
Yeah,
on
yeah,
all
yeah.
of the facts.
About the history,
Like the
but I wasn't
75
really
war.
au fait. And that's how I learned, because as soon as I said I would do that gig, I started to receive emails from supporters of BDS, although it was only 5 or 6 months old at the time, mainly from North Africa to start with. But then I got an email from Omar
Should I
Barghouti,
skip?
who was one of the
Wait.
sort of founding forces behind the beginnings of BDS. And he tried to persuade me to cancel the gig in High Combat, which had sold out, of course,
Of
in a few minutes. And eventually I
skip
was
ahead of it.
persuaded
Okay,
to cancel that gig, but the gig to an ecumenical agricultural community.
Yeah, so he did it in
Jeans and
Neve Shalom.
Neve Shalom. We had
A guest
go
from
to
there.
my Beta episode, one of the first episodes of ours,
Yeah.
to hear about Neve Shalom.
Druze and atheists and all live together in a community, and all their children all go to the
Okay. Which part are we looking at?
60,000.
Right.
We're looking for.
Keep going.
So we did this gig, and at the end of it, and it was lovely, they were extremely enthusiastic, they knew the work very well, and it was very Pink Floyd and all of that, and lovely food backstage, and it was a warm summer evening. At the end of it, I thought, I'm going to say something. It was euphoric at the end of the gig, and I said, so I made a little speech, and I went, "You are the generation of young Israelis who need to make peace with your neighbors, start talking to the Palestinian Authority and the blah, 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 and whatever, and da, da, da." And they went from Pink Floyd to nothing. It was like steel shutters had come down behind the eyeballs of every one of those 60,000 young Israelis.
Because nobody asked you to fucking express your opinion.
Yeah, nobody came to your concert.
Just sing and dance, monkey.
Yeah.
Just sing and dance.
Nobody cares about what you think about it. You know nothing about our
Uh.
situation here. You come for 2 minutes, you think you know everything.
Yeah.
It's
Omar
embarrassing.
Barghouti called you.
Told him, yeah, I sent him an email.
Yeah.
And I was staggered by that. And I was really shocked, really, really, really shocked. I couldn't believe it. And I saw it, I went back the next year and travelled extensively in the occupied territories. And until
Here.
you go there and you see
Oh
it,
my
Oh,
God.
yes, you have to go there.
you cannot believe what a shock it is. You know, things that you wouldn't believe possible anywhere on the world, like different roads for people with different religion.
Lie. Lie.
Lie alert, lie
Lie.
alert, lie alert.
What do you mean different roads for different religions?
Here, let him
Can you
finish.
imagine?
Really? He's going to explain
Yeah,
it.
really. Can you imagine you're going from Austin to, to Dallas, and you can only go on the road if you're Christian?
That is just false.
No, it's not false,
Basically
because
as
Jews-
true. It's basically as true as the 75 war. There is no 75 war, and there are no roads for religions. Yeah, I get what you're gonna say, that Jews can't drive around in the occupied territories. That's right. In
A territories.
a territory, if you go in as a Jew, you're dead. It's
Yeah.
not because of a law.
And
it's
recently-
because just Palestinians will kill you.
Also, A and B, B and C territories. Jews are being attacked every day.
Yeah, but in areas where Israel has control, there is no law or regulation or bylaw or anything that says this road is for a Christian, a Muslim, or a Jew. There's just no such thing.
Yeah, a Muslim who's a Muslim, Palestinian, Israeli citizen can go freely on those roads. But residents of Ramallah are not allowed in some of those roads because we don't want them there.
Yeah,
But not because they're Muslim.
And there are Christians and Palestinians and Muslims living under Area A.
Yes.
And they both can't. Not because they're Christian or because they're Muslim, because they're not citizens of the state of Israel.
Yes.
And so they
we
can't
are not interested
just
in
like
having them.
Just like a Mexican cannot drive
It's apartheid, my friend.
in
Texas.
California without crossing the border and being allowed in. You can't
Which
come
they
in-
do.
Which some do. No, some do, and some do legally even, and that's fine. And some Palestinians do come into Israel legally and drive around Israeli roads, even though they're Muslim.
Yeah. For example, a few days ago, a Palestinian, Arab, Muslim from territories from one of the big Palestinian cities, Ramallah or whatever, was arrested for raping a girl in the Bat Yam beach. Now you might ask yourself, how did he get to rape a woman in Bat Yam beach?
Was he in Israel illegally?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. He wasn't a worker.
Yes. He was a legal worker.
He was illegal.
Yes.
I said illegally. He wasn't illegally in Israel.
He wasn't illegally.
He was legally in Israel
because tens of thousands of them are allowed in every day.
Yeah.
Legally.
Yeah.
So what the hell are you talking about?
He was here legally. He's a Muslim, and he was driving around freely. So Roger Waters just knows nothing about what he's
If
talking
you're not
about.
a Christian, you can't go on the road.
Lie.
So if you're atheist or some other thing, you're not allowed to drive on the road. You have to go on back roads, and they're all filled up with boulders, and there are checkpoints everywhere. So
Yes, because there are a lot of terrorists.
He's literally just saying
random
bullshit.
blubber. Yeah.
That if you're an atheist, you have to drive on a back road and there's
Yeah.
boulders. What are you saying, dude? It's just false.
Yes, there are checkpoints because those cities are ramming with
And this is why
terrorists.
you're an anti-Semite, because you're
You make up
spewing
libels.
lies
Yeah.
about how the Jews are oppressing and they're racist and they're violent and they're this. And we have to ask ourselves, what motivation do you have to make up bullshit if you don't kind of hate Jews?
Local indigenous people are not allowed to use the roads. And you see that, and when you see it, you think, I don't believe this, but you get to believe it as you drive around. And all the checkpoints, and they have to go this way.
Oh, the checkpoint.
Only people with yellow license plates can go through here. Which
Yellow.
You're an idiot. You're literally an idiot. Yellow license plate is the color of the license plate of the citizens of the state of Israel.
Arabs,
Yellow
Muslim, Christian, Bedouins.
license plates are on the cars of Druze, Bedouins, Muslims, Christians, Jews, non-Jews,
Yes.
Baha'i.
Besides, when you go, a year ago I went to Itzhar, I think, or not Itzhar,
Alon Morin.
one of those places to record a podcast there. And I was driving in the territories, and when you pass Ariel,
where we interviewed Feiglin?
No, another,
Okay.
yeah. But anyway, when you go to those places, you see non-yellow license plates everywhere.
Yeah. So the Palestinian license plates are green and white, and they drive around freely, not freely, but they drive around. Again, these are not citizens of the state of Israel. So it's like seeing a Mexican license plate in the United States.
Yeah.
You'll see some because some are allowed in, but you're not going to see a whole bunch. And they're not just allowed to cross the border freely because they're not citizens of the United States. Now, but what I guarantee you, in Mexico, you will see American license plates. You'll see a lot of them. In the Palestinian territories, you will not see one yellow license plate. Not one.
Yeah, because you get lynched. In the holidays, a woman was almost lynched. She went to, I think, Shechem, Nablus, or something. Yeah, in Nablus. And
By accident. She took a wrong turn.
Yeah, no, someone took her there. It's unclear why. But it almost became a lynch, and she was saved last minute by the Abu Mazen's forces. But
which means that they're Jewish Israelis. And it's
The yellow license plate does not mean you're Jewish Israeli, you idiot. Idiot.
mind-numbingly
What? Your mind is
fills you
indeed
with
numb,
despair
my
when
friend.
You see it. You think, how can this possibly be happening? You know, it's 2007 or whenever it was. How can this be happening in the world and nobody where I live knows about it? Or if they do, they don't care. How can they not care? And I say, you might bring it up here and say, how would you feel if you weren't a Christian and that meant you couldn't use the road? I mean, it's so weird that it's hard to get your mind around.
His biggest qualm with Israel is
Driving.
fiction.
Yeah.
It's like me being like, I can't stand the United States because everybody's green there.
Yeah. Yeah. And they beat up.
Purple people. All the green people in the United States, they just beat up all the purple people, and it's really upsetting.
Can you imagine being purple and being beaten?
And how does no one care about the purple people? It's like, that is literally what he's saying, because what he's saying is just complete fiction. Just complete fiction. He has enough of the facts wrong to make what he's saying absolutely unrelated to reality.
Thing that
Just a bit
is
more,
what
guys.
It is.
Come on.
And
just a
that
bit
is
more.
what is called apartheid.
Apartheid.
I love his Afrikaans accent. That's amazing. He could have been very easily
Nelson Mandela. He could have been Nelson Mandela.
I was thinking like a Afrikaans dictator in the, in South Africa.
Yeah.
Apartheid.
Wait,
No.
Play some.
Okay.
Play some.
And in those days, you couldn't use the word apartheid in relation to Israel. It was completely verboten in 2006. You could not use the word. You would have been strung up in the press and everywhere
Here's
else
the best
and
part.
accused of being a Holocaust denier and a this and that and Hitler and whatever. Now, it's very difficult for anyone to have a conversation about Israel and Palestine without using the word apartheid, because it is in the lexicon. And the problem is far more in the light, and we are looking at it more, and there's more information for all of us about it than there was then. That is the work that BDS has done. And
Slow clap.
Wow.
Wonderful.
That's amazing work.
BDS has empowered homosexual killing, women oppressing, just savages. And it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
They kill homosexuals, they kill women. Fathers and brothers get together to kill the daughter/sister because she was walking around the mall with the wrong guy.
And they kill Jews.
Oh yeah, and they kill Jews too. But they kill their own people.
Forget killing Jews.
Forget killing Jews.
Let's
can't you guys
put that
just get
aside.
along with yourselves? Anyway, so it's
And the amazing thing is,
amazing.
Joe Rogan, who's so, he's so potent in arguing, talking, making life hard sometimes. Like he can ask, he can challenge interviewees. He does it sometimes. But here he's completely silent.
I don't know if he knows enough about the Israeli. Like I agree, he should have come way more informed.
You can still ask him, even without knowing, he could still ask some harder questions, challenge the guy. He lets him,
Yeah.
just go on and on.
And then he does ask him. He does.
And so it has made progress, and I'm glad it has, because what I desperately hope to live to see is a holy land.
Oh, that's a big
I don't care what it's called, from the River Jordan to the sea, where the people all have equal religious and political and social rights.
It
Okay.
exists, buddy. It exists. Just not from the river to the sea, but from like 15 kilometers from the river to the sea. It
Yes.
exists.
No, but that's the thing, man. He knows what he wants. He wants one state. It's an Arab, Palestinian, Muslim, Hamas state from the river to the sea.
I don't know if that's what he wants. I think
Of course, when you say one state from the river to the sea, you say it's a majority of Arabs and a minority of Jews
No, I think he doesn't. I'll tell you what I think why he's actually an anti-Semite. I think that he's ignorant. I don't think that he's done the research. I don't think that he's been exposed to the facts. And if he has been exposed to the facts, I think he's just so in the confirmation bias thing that he just kind of shuts them out. He doesn't even want to hear it. And I think he's in that position comfortably numb.
Yeah.
Because he's comfortable hating Jews. He's comfortable saying the Jews are racist. They're creating an apartheid and the poor Muslims, and they're oppressing them. He's comfortable doing that because he's anti-Semitic.
But still, it doesn't explain why he's fine with giving.
He's not fine. He actually doesn't realize that
he knows there's a huge majority of Arabs between the river and the sea. He knows
there's a majority of Arabs between the river and the sea.
Yes, he knows it. He knows the numbers. He's hoping for a state.
First of all, I'm not sure that that's...
What?
You mean including Gaza and the West Bank?
Of course. There is, man. There is.
Very slim.
There's a majority. They have a majority.
I'm not sure. There's two.
It jeopardizes. It greatly jeopardizes.
6 million, 7 million, and there's at least 7 million Jews in Israel.
Okay, it jeopardizes. No, but
6.5, 7.
But my friend,
it's a slim majority.
You forget the millions of Palestinian refugees in Lebanon, in Syria.
The right of return, but those aren't from the river to the sea.
No, he wants. Oh, come on.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
That's what he wants. He wants a Jewish minority that will become extinct eventually. Either they'll flee back to Europe. I think so.
Like, if he's that, like, you know what I mean?
Seasoned.
Like, manipulative. Like, I just think he's an idiot. I think he's actually an idiot. He's done so much drugs and, like, just had sex with so many, like, all his life has just been sex,
his mind is
drugs,
syphilis.
And, like, alcohol and rock and roll. And he's just, his mind is infected with syphilis. And he's just like half awake right now, and he just got an email from Omar Barghouti. It was like, "Oh my God, this is horrible. Let me sniff this line of cocaine, and then I'm gonna write this guy back. And I think I'll do a show in Israel." And then he decided to do a show in Tel Aviv, and Barghouti was like, "No, that's the wrong city." He's like, "Oh, sorry. Where should I do it? Like, do it in Neve Shalom. Make it about peace." Like, all right, I'll go there. Yeah. And then he came here.
But that's been 15 years ago, and he's still
children of Roger Waters walking around in Israel.
Yeah, it's the first 3 minutes of the episode, and he's
talking about it.
Yeah,
no, he's passionate about it. He's definitely passionate about it. I don't know what it is, man, but either way, he's a fucking idiot. Either he's an idiot, or he's an idiot that's also a shitty guy.
and an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
An anti-Semite.
Yeah,
he's an anti-Semite.
He's obviously. I mean. You just are spewing lies. Like, what have we taught you all, right?
Yeah.
Lying about Jews being evil. That's a big part of anti-Semitism.
Unfortunately, millions of people are exposed to that episode. Millions and millions and millions.
It is a shame. And then Joe Rogan does ask him at some point about, like, what do people say to you when you make this
segregation
claim?
I mean, that is segregation, clearly.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's the oppression of one ethnic group by another ethnic group.
Yes.
For those reasons, for the fact that they're different ethnic groups. So the South African model clearly applies, except that the South Africans who survived the South African model all say that the Israeli model is far worse than the white South African model was.
They all say it. He talked to each and every one of them.
They all say it.
That's amazing.
Well, they've poured money in for a start, trying to keep the black population quiet, which they failed to do. But both Desmond Tutu, before he sadly died, and Mandela, obviously, as well, both came out completely and said, this is a lot worse than our conditions were in South Africa before apartheid.
So just discussing this and having compassion for the plight of the Palestinian people, that made them categorize you as anti-Semitic?
Yeah.
Did anyone have, and I'm sure someone must have talked to you about this segregation, did anyone have any kind of argument that they wanted to bring to you as for any justification of that?
You mean from the Israeli side?
Yes.
No. That's why
Either that's a lie or that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Either someone really did explain to you and you're lying, or you've managed to shelter yourself from the other. Like, I've heard Palestinians talk about their side. I understand their argument. I get it. I know that they think that the land was taken away from them and they lived here before the founding of the state of Israel, and Israel is occupying. And I get it. I get all of the. I don't agree, but I can like elucidate what their side of the argument is. If you can't do that, then you seriously have to question.
Really quickly tell Roger, if he listens, why don't we give them a state? Why won't we give them citizenship in our state? Why, Nathan? Why?
Because they're savages. You know what? Sorry, you wanted like the nicely worded, like eloquent answer?
Yes, please.
Because they're savages.
Because they want to kill us all.
Yeah, no, but seriously, like, first of all, I mean, look at who you're dealing with. You're dealing with Hamas, and you're dealing with the PA.
Yeah.
The PA, I mean, I don't even know where to start. They teach their kids. They have textbooks that have been, like, criticized by organizations for having just, like, blatant anti-Semitism.
Yesterday.
They carry out terrorist attacks. The PA funds terrorists and their families. Like, meaning they if you kill a Jew, you get money. You get money from the PA.
Basically, yeah.
You get money from the PA. Like, you get money. There's no it's not complicated.
It's like
that
winning
is
the lottery.
Most direct incentivization of terrorism ever. It's like, kill a Jew, get a money.
Yeah.
It's literally like a prize, like a sign. Like,
if only I could participate in that.
Money.
Sounds very lucrative to me.
I wonder who your first victim would be. I'm never coming over here again. No, but they literally pay people to kill Jews.
You know, yesterday we killed a terrorist who murdered a soldier a week ago, and the PA released an official, like, warning ad.
Yeah. To
this dead terrorist.
Abbas, their leader, is a Holocaust denier who claims that the Holocaust, like, was max 100,000 Jews.
Just 2 months ago, he stood in Germany with the chancellor and said that what we're doing to the Palestinians is a Holocaust. So he compared the Holocaust, which is basically Holocaust denial.
In the end, though, I think the best argument for why we're not giving them territory, giving them a state, is
or annexing all
what's
of them.
going on in Gaza. Like, that was done already.
Yeah,
it was done. We left Gaza unilaterally. We pulled out. Ariel Sharon, I think it was a big mistake, but whatever. He pulled out. No more Israel in Gaza.
Or apartheid.
No, apartheid in Gaza. They're just Gaza. Now they'll and what? Not only do the Gazans keep shooting rockets and murdering Israelis and waging war against us, but the world hasn't changed their tune either. Like, we're still, there's the blockade and the siege, and we're not like, we're cutting off their water and their electricity. Like, it's our fucking responsibility to give them water and electricity. Like, that's nothing's changed. We're still the bad guys.
And when they attack us, we attack back, and we're Nazis.
We're the victimizers. We're the
John Oliver.
We're the perpetrators. We're the aggressors. So, like, what the, like, why?
What's my interest?
What is
what's
my
interest here? Yeah.
Just to make Roger Waters happy?
Besides, fucking Roger Waters, you're a British man. I mean, have you no
shame?
Have you no shame? How about first, like, make your queen, like, de-sovereign
the what? Half the planet.
Half the planet.
Yeah.
For starters, you know. Yeah. What about Falkland? Why are you still ruling Falkland, for example?
What about Australia?
What about Australia? What about New Zealand?
Yeah.
Seriously, Australia just the other day said they're pulling their recognition of Jerusalem. Like, you bunch of Queen worshippers. You know, a child in Australia, actually every morning, also in Canada, they swear an oath to this random. Now it's a random grandfather.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. And those are the people who preach to us.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there's much worse. Like some of okay, you think the British Empire is chill? That's fine. There's like way worse shit going on around the world that that should draw your attention than the Israeli occupation.
Putin literally, massacres civilians every day.
Like that's the first thing you chose to talk about, not like soldiers eating each other in Ukraine. Like no,
or President Xi saying like Taiwan will be free from the river to the sea.
Yeah. Anyway, he's an idiot, and Joe Rogan's it's very disappointing.
Naive, yeah,
very disappointing. But what can you do?
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Do you listen to Pink Floyd?
Nah. Do you?
Did you before?
Yeah,
it's
not
not
really.
like you had to stop or anything.
No.
I used to really like them. I still really like their songs, and but it kind of puts dampens the mood when you're listening to Time or Comfortably Numb, and you think about the fact that the guy singing it hates Jews.
Yeah, the Beatles are way better. Even the Stones are better.
Yeah,
I think.